There's been a big boost today for couples who are struggling to have children. Not only will some qualify for more cycles of IVF treatment, they will now be able to get the treatment at their local hospital. Under a new partnership, Bourne Hall near Cambridge is joining forces with two of our biggest hospitals, the James Paget in Galston and the Queen Elizabeth in King's Lynn.
They are 6 months old and the Dobie twins can already gurgle for England. This is Frankie and Freddie back at the James Paget Hospital in Norfolk.
All right, come in. Good to see you.
This is where parents Jason and Vicky came for their IVF treatment. Under the old NHS guidelines, they had just one attempt.
It puts a lot of pressure on you, doesn't it?
It's always in the back of your mind that it might not work, and what on earth do you do if it doesn't? Because that's your only try. One go, that's it, that's all we had.
Now, all eligible couples in the East will get 3 cycles of treatment on the NHS.
The chances of success in the first cycle, based on age, would be about 25%. So you can see that if couples go in for a cycle of treatment with a 1 in 4 chance, they need to have the reassurance that they will have a further cycle if they're unsuccessful.
The new partnership with Bourne Hall means that more couples in Norfolk and Suffolk will be able to opt to have some of their treatment closer to home. Monitoring and egg collection takes place at the James Paget or at the QE in King's Lynn. The eggs are then taken to Bourne Hall and the embryos replaced.
And here they are.
Yeah, double trouble.
Large as life.
Yeah, they're fantastic, aren't they?
So lucky, so very lucky. Yeah, I can't believe it sometimes.
They seem happy enough.
Very, very good, very content little babies. Yeah, it's lovely.
For couples who choose to have children using IVF, it is a long and difficult road to travel. Improvements to the service will help to make that journey easier, and more couples will be able to experience the joy of having babies like Frankie and Freddie. Mike Liggins, BBC Look East at the James Paget Hospital.
We think they're gorgeous, don't we?
If we do.
If you think you could benefit from this new service, the best advice is to consult your GP. You can also find details about the scheme on the Bourne Hall website. The address is bourne-hall-clinic.co.uk.
Well, later in Look East, from supermarket shelves to the catwalk, the woman from Essex and her... The leader of Essex County Council has told Look East there are no plans to privatise every council service. Lord Hanningfield, who's overseeing a radical overhaul, denied a claim by the unions that thousands of jobs will be lost.
Lord Hanningfield has been the toast of the Conservative conference this week. His authority's plans to save more than £200 million while increasing service provision have been described by the party leadership as bold, exciting and groundbreaking.
Not only I am looking at it, but I know a number of councils up and down the land, and indeed it's created quite a stir on the continent.
Last month, the authority laid on this celebration as it transferred all its social care to a private company. In County Hall, a lot of the back office work, phone and IT is already contracted out. The same may happen with highway repairs.
I haven't heard any concerns about it. It's the most popular thing that I've ever done. The public want us to provide better services for less money, and they're not really concerned about how we do it.
Lord Hanningfield is feeling bullish. He says outsourcing or partnerships are a good way of providing value for money. The unions and opposition parties have feared that he wants to outsource everything, but today he denied this. Some things like libraries will always be better run in-house, he says, but every service, whoever's running it, will have to cut costs.
I don't see any less people doing the work in Essex. So there won't be many less jobs in the actual delivery of things. There might be less back office jobs, but in frontline jobs there'll be more. If we're going to actually look after more elderly people, we're going to repair roads more, there'll actually be more jobs in the front line.
But it's not just traditional council services being overhauled. The council set up a bank that's giving loans to small businesses, it's rescued rural post offices, and it's launched anti-congestion patrols on the A12. Lord Hanningfield believes it's the job of a council to play a wide role in the community while at the same time keeping its costs to a minimum. His critics, meanwhile, worry that jobs in the outsourced businesses aren't as safe. He disagrees and points to the Conservative success in the local elections as proof that his policy is popular. Andrew Sinclair, BBC Look East, Manchester.
An MP is demanding to know how a convicted rapist was able to enter the UK and get a job as a therapist in Essex. Samuel Odinga worked with cancer patients at Colchester General and Essex County hospitals between 2004 and 2008. The NHS Trust says it followed all the correct procedures when employing him. The MP for North Essex, Bernard Jenkin, wants to know why Odinga wasn't refused entry to the UK. The Norwich and Peterborough Building Society is cutting another 36 jobs. Most will go at its Peterborough head office, where 400 people work. The society blames difficult market conditions. Earlier this year, it cut 31 jobs. New measures are to be introduced at Southend Airport to try to reduce aircraft noise. The number of night flights will be cut and the direction of takeoffs and landings will be altered to try to avoid built-up areas.
A council says stealing life belts from the seafront in Clacton is putting lives at risk. Earlier this year, 50 belts were stolen and now more have gone missing.
Since the end of the summer, Tim Sutton's replaced 20 stolen life belts. The thefts have added up to around £600. But it's not just the cost that's a concern, it's the danger.
Here in Clacton, more than anything, on our east side of the pier, that stretch along there, we're replacing about 70 per year. But along our coastline, 35 miles of coastline and different locations, we're actually replacing about 150 a year.
A trip to the seaside should be a fun, safe day out. But this summer in particular reminded us of the dangers of the sea. It was along this stretch of coastline in August that 10-year-old Stella Akambi drowned whilst playing with a friend in the water. The recent spate of life belts thefts is adding concern to seaside safety.
We need to realise that one incident in the summer ended in tragic consequences for that family and that poor young girl. So I think people really need to start thinking about what's the real impact that this has to people when they're visiting our coastline.
Tendring District Council are now appealing for people to return the life belts and to stop removing them from the seafront. Catherine Nash, BBC Look East, Clacton.
A court battle over the future of some crumbling cliffs in Suffolk has started again. Peter Boggis has tipped 250,000 tonnes of soil onto the beach near Southwold to stop his home from falling into the sea. He won a previous court battle, but now Natural England is taking the case to the Court of Appeal. Meanwhile, time is running out for a Coast Guard station in Norfolk. The edge of the cliff is just a few feet away from the building in Happisburgh. The cliff is eroding at about 2 feet every year. The building was opened in 1987.
Norwich City